Imagine for a moment going to hospital with worsening COVID symptoms, only to be left lying outside on the ground waiting for a free bed.
Wow. Well, that's what happened to David van der Giesen, who's pleading with other Queenslanders to take the virus more seriously this morning. David joins us from Brisbane. David, good morning to you. What was your experience like?
Morning, guys. Yeah, look, the experience itself was, with COVID, we hear and see everything in the news. I guess the reality for some people is that it's this particular condition will affect people in different ways, and unfortunately, it's sort of affected me pretty negatively late last week, and I took myself off to hospital, and I'd been trying to treat myself for, approximately 36 hours and just couldn't get on top of, how I was feeling. So went off to the Mater emergency and...
OK, David, can I stop you there? Because I think it's important. This is really, really important for anyone who's got COVID right now. What made you think, OK, was it the temp, was it the fevers, was it the aches, the pains, whatever it was symptomatically, can you tell people, because they'll get something out of it, and you decide you had to go to hospital?
Yeah, look, it was a bit of everything. I had been, from the Tuesday, I had been suffering temperatures and an elevated heart rate. Look, I also, as embarrassing as this on national TV, was experiencing quite a lot of diarrhoea through it. And by Wednesday, look, I started sort of suffering quite a lot of chest pain on either side of my chest. And I started, having quite a level of shortness of breath. Look, I'm an asthmatic. I had been doing what I could at home to treat myself the best I could, keeping fluids up, but it just got to a point where I wasn't feeling comfortable, and I felt I needed some assistance.
Okay.
So, David, how is it that you came to be lying on the ground outside the hospital waiting for a bed?
So, look, when I arrived at the hospital, it's, as I said, it was quite a confronting sight. There was a number of ambulances, obviously, that had pretty much filled up the emergency car park. And then I sort of, as I was walking in, and I was sort of really struggling walking by that stage, I was sort of confronted with a car park that had quite a number of people in the car park that, were obviously had been triaged and were waiting to be treated. Look, I waited in line behind 3 or 4 people waiting to be triaged. Then an absolutely lovely nurse sort of took all of my readings and had sort of said, yeah, look, you absolutely need to be here and just try and find a space in one of the bays that they'd set up in the car park that had, fencing. Look, there was 1 or 2 spare plastic seats that were free. Look, I'm a 115 kilo plus bloke. I wasn't feeling very good on my feet at all. And I sort of looked at the chair and said, look, I can't do this. So I actually sat down on the ground, leaning up against the wall. But look, my coughing and my breathing and just my whole body, I just felt that crook that I found myself needing to lie down until some of the staff came back to me and conducted a PCR and a rat test on me.
Look, there is no doubt about it, despite what some officials say, and it's probably right in the majority of cases about it being mild, but people get very sick with Omicron, as evidenced by you. You're not attacking the hospital or angry with the hospital in any way. What is your message? Look,
I think that you gain perspective on certain things when you experience them for yourselves. I gained some insight last week into what this pandemic, what this pandemic is doing to our medical system, and in turn the effect that it's having on our frontline workers. The level of care that was provided to me by the Mater Hospital in very, very trying circumstances was just absolutely phenomenal. They treated me with such a level of compassion and care, and I'm so very grateful. I've said since coming out of hospital, I think that many of us in Australia probably take for granted the role that our frontline workers play. Look, during my week of recovery so far, I've I've been in contact with them at a hospital, and I've sort of reached out to them and seen whether or not there's things that we can do to help, our frontline workers. The Martyr Foundation, I was actually speaking to the Martyr Foundation yesterday when I reached out to them, and they advised me that they're launching a campaign this week, which is called Back Up the Frontline. Basically, the purpose of the initiative is to sort of ease the burden on our frontline workers. For every $50 that's donated to this campaign, a frontline worker in Queensland will be provided with a $100 U-Foods voucher.
David, that's fantastic stuff. We just saw shots of your little bub there. Did your family get it?
Yeah, so all of us have tested positive to COVID. Look, my little daughter, my daughter Charlotte, she's 4 months old. She was the first one to test positive to COVID. She had a pretty rough time herself for the first sort of 36 hours, had temperatures of 36.9. You know, you guys are parents yourself. You never like seeing your children sort of go through that. And obviously since she became sick, my wife and I became sick, and look, my 3 other children, Sophie, Annie and Ollie, they have tested positive, but they haven't experienced anything like we have.
Well, David, we send you and your family all our very best wishes. We hope everyone's back on their feet and feeling tip-top 100% really, really soon. We appreciate you sharing your story too this morning.
That's the really difficult thing about this thing when the whole family goes down. I mean, just the care, and some are going to be worse than others. I mean, it's awful. No two ways about it.
G'day, it's Ali.
And Karl.
Thanks for watching the Today YouTube channel.
Subscribe now for brand new videos every day and exclusive bonus clips.
Ali, say please.
Please? Why?
Please? I don't know.